Okay, hey YouTube and Amazing Atheist, you did a cop video, so I'm just going to do a response back. But before I do that, I just want to add this, that there was a black respiratory therapist that I worked with on a travel assignment in Cincinnati, Ohio, and he had made the statement that, you know, black people are always given shit by the cops. And I like the Amazing Atheist story because, honestly, we're all given shit by the cops. Now, I would never claim that blacks aren't targeted more. That definitely could be the case, so I'm not arguing for that point. But anyway, so some of my cop stories. I was going from I was leaving a girl that I was dating's house. This was in Charleston, West Virginia. And when you go through Charleston, West Virginia on I-64, the speed limit in town is 60, like a lot of places. Sometimes it drops down to 55 or 60. It was 60, and I was in my grandma's Chevy Cavalier. And I was probably doing 110 at the max. So this cop just comes flying in, and I'm like, oh fuck, I'm fucked. So I pull over, and the cop, you know, he's like, hey Slick, do you know how fast you were going? And I laughed. It was probably a nervous laugh, but I was like, I don't know. It depends on when you shot me with your gun. And he was like, well, I got you going 94. And I was like, oh. He's like, well, what the hell are you in such a hurry for? I said, well, my girlfriend pissed me off, and you know, I'm just fucking mad about it. She broke up with me, and I just, you know, fuck her and fuck everything, which was completely not true, but it sounded good. So he told me, he said, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to write you this ticket, but all you have to do is, you just have to go to a defensive driver's course, and they'll take it off. And, of course, I was young and dumb, and I was like, okay, sure. The defensive driver's course was only $110, which the ticket probably would have been like $300 or $400, you know, since it was way reckless driving. I don't know what the fine would have been. But anyway, my dumb ass, I didn't even go pay it, and I actually had my license suspended. I was like, fuck it, I ain't doing anything. They'll never catch me. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, states' driver's license databases are linked. The other one, another police incident I had was that we were going through Wayne, West Virginia, and that is Whitey-Whiterton as far as race, and this was a Saturday night, which would technically have been Sunday morning, but it was 1 or 2 in the morning, and it was me and 4 of my buddies. And it's so funny you said Ford Tempo, because I owned a 1993 Ford Tempo, and mine had a cargo rack on the back of it, like I guess a tow rack or something, and we always called it the Sporty Tempo. I guess that's a bit ironic, but it always made me feel good. You know, it's sporty. You know, it's fucking slower to stink off shit, but it's sporty. But anyway, so the cop pulls me over. I made a U-turn. It was a completely legal U-turn, and I'm turning around in a store parking lot and getting back onto the road, and the cop pulls me over. He does a U-turn with me and pulls me over, and you know, I get over pretty fast. And he said, you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, no, actually, officer, I don't have a fucking clue why you pulled me over. Well, there was 5 people in your truck, or in your car, and that just didn't seem right to me. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's basically what he said. He pulled me over because my car was full of people. That was it. But if I'd have been older, I probably would have said something like, suck my balls, while I turned my iPhone on and videotaped it. Yeah, keep talking, redneck dumbass cop, city cop. Keep talking. Yeah, you what? You pulled me over for shits and giggles. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, what's your badge number and who's your boss? The other incident, I will defer to my video where I tried to meet up with Matt Dillahunty, and it was like the last video or the one before last that I did. But basically, just a brief synopsis, we got our car radio jacked, and I confronted the thief and held him up until the cops showed up, and my wife is calling 911 with telling him that, you know, if he hits my husband, I'm gonna cut him from his balls to his earlobes, or whatever she said. And yeah, damn right, I got a knife and I'll kill him if he hurts my husband, you know, that kind of thing. And I actually left this part out of the video, when the cops finally show up, you know, they're probably given, the 911 operator's like, whoever the lady is, she's crazy. But there's a person there with a knife, and there's 2 male suspects, and or 2 males or something like that. So they have to check both suspects. They don't know who it is. So they get both of us up against the truck, and I knew what was up. You know, they don't know who's carrying what. They gotta find out who the enemies are. So he's got me, you know, spread eagle, and he's searching me and stuff. He didn't put me in handcuffs, did he?
No.
Okay. So he's searching me, and my wife screams out, "I'm the one with the knife!" But anyway, actually the guy who robbed us, I always thought he was Hispanic. You know, we're close to Mexico. It's not like a racist thing or anything. He just looked Hispanic. His name was like Muhammad Shakir Quasi something or another. But the supervisor cop, he was a black gentleman, and he said that, holy shit, this dude lives right next to me. But anyway, so that was that's another incident. Let me see, what else? Another incident, this was, like a lot of these happened in high school when I was dumb and I drove like a maniac. I had a keg in the back of my car, and it was in I think it was in like a, what's the bigger gallon garbage tubs? Like the bigger ones that you can put a couple garbage bags, a couple 13s. Anyway, a couple 13-gallon, it'll hold a couple 13-gallon garbage things. But anyway, it's filled with ice, and there's a keg in it. And I took a curve really fast. The town speed limit is 35 in the inner city, and this is a very, very small town. It's in Hamlin, West Virginia. That it was 20, and I was doing like 45, 50. I mean, I'm just flying. And I'm underage, and I have a big fucking keg in my car. Well, anyway, I take this one curve too fast, and it actually slams up against the window. And again, it's the same sporty Ford Tempo, and it's a 2-door. I don't know if the Amazing Atheist had a 2-door, but those little tiny triangle windows, I don't know how it didn't bust it out, but it didn't. But anyway, it slaps up against it, and I'm like, fucking hell. And I look in the mirror, and there's a cop like tailgating the shit out of me. God damn it. And he pulls me over, and he said, "What are you in a hurry for?" I just my gas pedal's stuck. Looking back, I was a fucking moron. But he was just like, yeah, right. Didn't get a ticket. He said, "Why don't you slow it down there, Chief? You might hurt somebody." And just let me go. And actually I left this part out. When the keg fell, with even in the garbage bucket thing, I don't know how it did, but you could actually see the keg. I mean, it was exposed because it was laying over. And it's on the driver's side. It's exposed on the driver's side. So when the cop walks by and even looks in, there's no way he doesn't see that there's a keg back there. But I got off on that one. I'm trying to think what else. I was a dumbass, got into my first car accident with my wife, mostly because I thought a tractor trailer was going to pull out and hit me. And I'm not going to go into detail. But basically, I pulled out. I couldn't see anything. The light was red, but I was like, shit, this tractor trailer's going to hit me. So I pull out, and a lady T-bones me, which is my fault. So I'm not going to make any excuses. It was my fault. When the cops showed up, they said, "What happened?" And I was honest, and this is quotes. I was like, "Honestly, sir, I had my head up my ass, and it's completely my fault." Well, and this is in Johnson City, Tennessee. Apparently, they didn't like that answer, which is kind of weird because most, like some of the Amazing Atheist comments and some of my stories, you know, people make excuses or lies, and I'm just outright telling the truth. Well, after we're done and we get everything put together and do all the paperwork and the report and everything, basically this fucking fat white motherfucking douchebag, prick, redneck, whatever adjective I can add in there, he's walking away, and he said, "Yeah, by the way, you might want to get that fucking marijuana smell out of your truck." One, if I had a marijuana smell, no, actually, I'm sorry. No, he asked me what if I was in the military and if I was dishonorably discharged, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. But if I was dishonorably discharged, and I looked at him, I was like, "No, why? You get that fucking marijuana smell out of your truck." And I don't know why I didn't say anything. Maybe it's just because, fuck it, who cares, and you're a loser. But one, if you thought that there was marijuana, wouldn't you check the truck? I mean, that could be a big bust. You might even make the local news. But the second thing is, what a fucking dick. But anyway, let's see. Can you think of any other run-in with the law we've had? Not together. Oh, my wife got pulled over for running a yellow light. Or yellow. I don't know if my dialect's bringing that through. A yeller light.
The middle one.
The middle one.
The one that says, damn it, hit the gas, the red one's coming.
So, she's going to the Huntington Mall, and this is in West Virginia. All these are, like, in West Virginia for some reason. I guess because I've spent a lot of my life there before I left. So she's pulling through, it's green to yellow, and it's a slow yellow, right? It takes a while to turn red. But the cop pulls her over. He's like, you know why I pulled you over? Actually, officer, I have no idea. You ran a yellow light. And that's the punchline. She's back there, she could probably scream what she said, but it's just like, she ran a yellow light. My God. Somebody get the drug-sniffing dog. Let's see, what else? Lord, 11 minutes. What else has happened? I've had some incidences where cops will show up to the hospital because we'll have psychiatric patients that have to be watched, and they've set their self on fire. They've put a lighter up to the sprinkler system, set it on fire, or it's not set it on fire, but caused it to go off, and it flooded this was in a hospital that I worked for in Tennessee. The door is sealed, so actually it started filling up with water, and we had to shut off the water main. Other run-ins. I think that's it. But anyway, I'm sure I'll think of something later on. Probably the Austin, Texas robbery thing was my funnest one. But, yeah, my wife had a knife out, and she was, like, faking stabbing. But that's it. So we all have our little problems with the law, and peace out. Wait. I want to do one more thing. It didn't work. We were in Hazard, Kentucky. We were going to Tennessee. And my wife got pulled over. She was doing 70 in a 55. I think this was on Interstate 23. And it didn't work, but anyone's free to use it. The cop pulled us over, and he said, you know why I pulled you over, right? And she's like, yeah, probably speeding. And the cop was like, yeah. And it's like, officer, could we use the excuse that we were wanting to save the environment? And he just looked at me. And he was like, what? I was like, well, we get optimal fuel mileage at 68 miles an hour, so that's why we were traveling that fast. And he laughed, but we still got the ticket, and he almost gave me a seatbelt ticket on that one, actually, because the what would that be? The shoulder harness was chewed off. My wife's dog actually chewed the harness off, and he's like, you're not buckled up in your seatbelt. And I was like, yeah, I am. It's like, and I had to pull it out. I was like, it's right here. Where's the shoulder strap? And we explained, and he laughed. But anyway, that's it. That's all my stories. Peace out.